Hi, this is Bruce with IR2BT. In this video, we're going to talk about configuring your Logitech Harmony remote for use with the IR2BT. We're going to specifically look at adding the device IR2BT to your existing profile. We're going to look at several button customizations which seem to be fairly popular among some IR2BT users. We're also going to show you how to add the activities that use the IR2BT. We're going to assume that you already know how to use the Logitech software to configure and customize your remote, so this is not going to be a tutorial on that. If you need support on that, you can contact Logitech directly, or you may want to use one of your local home theater installers. Also, this is not the be-all, end-all of configurations. It's simply just one example, and we'll show you how to add the IR2BT device to your existing configuration. So we're inside the Logitech Harmony remote software, version 7.4.3. As you can see, I have one existing activity, and as you can see under my Devices tab, I have three existing devices: my TV, my AV receiver, and my cable box. The first thing we're going to want to do is add the IR2BT as a device. So we'll go up in the upper left-hand corner and click on the Add Device button. This will bring up the device setup screen, from which we'll select under Device, Game Console with DVD. Under the manufacturer, you'll select IR2BT. And in the model number, you can simply type IR2BT. It does have the example, which is a little bit longer, but you can just type IR2BT and click on the Next button. This will take us to the screen to review the device information we just entered, and as you can see, we've added the game console with DVD, and it's an IR2BT. After clicking on the Next button, you can see that now we've added our device of game console with DVD, so we have a total of 4 devices. Let's click on the Settings button under your game console with DVD. Let's go ahead and click the Customize Buttons radio button and click Next. This will bring up a list of the default button mappings as assigned by Logitech. The first button that most people like to customize is the OK hard button. Most people change that to the PlayStation X command. Since the circle command is used quite a bit to back out of or stop things, a lot of people will assign that to either the previous button, or some people also like to assign it to the exit hard button. Other users prefer to assign the exit hard button to the power toggle command. The reason for this is because the exit is a hard button, which allows you to hold it down for a duration. So by holding down the exit button, you're effectively holding down the power toggle or PS button. This can allow you to manually shut down your PS3. If we scroll down through the buttons, we can see that the button number 2 in device mode is already mapped to the To command. When the remote is in device mode, this will allow us to pair the IR2BT with our PS3, since the To button is used during pairing. If you click on the Additional Buttons tab, you can see that in device mode we already have some buttons mapped to existing PlayStation commands. If you click on the Done button, this will take us back to the Device Options page. From here, let's take a look at the Adjust Power settings. So we're going to click on the radio button for Adjust Power Settings and click Next. On the next page it asks, do you want to leave your game console with DVD on all the time? This is really personal preference, but the default is that you want to turn it off when it's not in use. Click Next will bring us to the next page, which will say, how do you turn your game console on and off with your current remote? Leave this at the default of a button for on and a different button for off. On the next page it asks what command will power on your device. The PS3 will actually power on with any Bluetooth command, but you can leave it at the default of power toggle. On the next page it will ask you what commands will power off your device. As you can see, there's a default 6-button sequence included in the device profile for the IR2BT. This 6-button sequence consists of briefly pressing the power toggle button, followed by 2 down arrows, then holding the power toggle button for 3 seconds, followed by 2 X's. Most users find that this 6-button sequence works well in most situations. Some users have found that they need to change the duration of the power toggle button hold down from 3 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Some users are finding that this depends on the version of the PS3 as well as the current version of the Sony software. If you'd prefer to use the last 3 commands as your power down sequence, simply change the first 3 commands to none. If you click Done and then go back into your power adjustment settings, you'll notice that your power off sequence is now just the last 3 commands. Back in the main devices page, you'll see that the game console with DVD isn't used in any current activities. So let's go back under the Activities tab and click the Add Activity button. For this example, we'll click the Yes, automatically add the activities that use my device. Next, for this example, let's just use the Watch a DVD and Play Game activities. Now you'll see that we have a total of 3 activities after adding a Watch a DVD and Play Game activity. Under the Watch a DVD activity, let's click on Customize Buttons. Again, this brings up a list of existing buttons. Remember, we're in activity mode here. We're no longer in device mode. As you can see, the Logitech software defaults many of the common buttons used. If you scroll down, of interest to us is that the To button has been mapped to the IR2BT number 2 command. This will allow us to pair the IR2BT with your PS3 while in this activity. Again, once you click on the Additional Buttons tab, you'll see that Logitech has provided some common defaults for some of the button mappings. Click Done, and let's look at the Play Game activity and click on the Customize buttons within that activity. As you can see, the defaults Logitech have provided are slightly different. If we scroll down to the To button, we can see that in this activity, Logitech has not assigned any default button mappings. So in this default activity, with these default button mappings, you would not be able to use the To button to pair the IR2BT with your PS3, since there are no commands associated with the To button. A look at the Additional Buttons tab shows more default mappings, these ones being slightly different than our previous activity. Clicking Done will take you back to the main page, but let's not forget we need to update our remote. So click the Update Remote button in the upper right-hand corner, and follow the instructions on the screen for sending all the new configurations to your remote. Well, those are the basics to get you going with using your Logitech Harmony remote with the IR2BT. If you have additional questions on the Logitech remotes, please contact them directly at logitech.com. Also make sure to check out our other videos at youtube.com/IR2BT. If you have specific IR2BT questions, please visit our user support forum at ir2bt.com/forum. There we have a dedicated section for Harmony remote users, as well as forums for other universal IR remotes. Thanks again for your interest and support in IR2BT.